Hello everyone, Ismail is here. Today we're going to start the lesson 11.2, complex numbers. We know that from 11.1 we started the imaginary number. You can do this warm-up question just to remind you about the lessons. Now you can find all the lessons on my website. First, let's do this warm-up question to remind you with some basic polynomials, adding or multiplying. Here, add the polynomial 3 plus 4x and 2 minus x. If you look here, we need to add the like term. So as you can see here, we have a 3 and we have 2. So 3 plus 2. And we have here the other like term, which is 4x and negative x plus 4x minus x. Now add them to find the final answer. 3 plus 2, which is 5. 4x minus 6, which is equal negative 3x. So this is the answer. Now let's do the same thing here. We have 2 here. We have a 3. 2 plus 3 is equal 5. Negative x plus 4, which is equal still negative. Oh, sorry, here it's saying subtract. Okay, here is subtract. Sorry. Okay, now here it's saying subtract. So what I have to do, 2 minus x, so this polynomial, minus 3 plus 4x, this polynomial. Now I told you if I have a minus, so let's change this minus for every term here, and this one here, it will be also negative. Okay, so the question will be 2 minus x minus 3 minus 4x. Now let's add them. So as you can see here, 2 and negative 3, which is equal negative 1. And we have here negative x with negative 4x is equal negative 5x. So this is the final answer. Now multiply the binomials. Multiply, we can fold them. 3 plus 4x and 2 minus x. We can use distributive property. So it will be 3 times 2, which is equal 6. 3 times x, which is equal negative 3x. Then we have 4x times 2, which is equal 8x. Then 4x times negative x, which is equal negative 4x squared. Now add the like term. So as you can see here, we have negative plus 8 and negative 3. So it will be 6 minus, plus 5x minus 4x squared. If you want to rearrange it, so it will be negative 4x plus 5x plus 6, which is the standard form. Now, this is just introduction to our complex number. Now, let's start our complex number here. Let's explain the definition. Here, first, a complex number. What's the complex number? Complex number means is any number written in the form a plus bi. A plus bi, which means a is a number, b is a number, so it could be 5 plus example 2i, or 6 plus 1i, or 6 plus I, which is 6 plus 1i, same thing. Okay, just an example where a and b are real numbers and I is equal negative square root of negative 1. We know that is I is equal square root of negative 1, and we know that I squared is equal negative 1. So this is from the lesson, the imaginary number we learned in 11.1. A in the formula is called the real part of a number, and bi part is called imaginary part. So as we know, as we see here from the part, A is real number, bi together is imaginary number. Okay, imaginary number. Now let's start identify the real imaginary part. In this question here, it's saying 9 identify the real and imaginary parts. So the real part, we know that 9 is the real part, 5i is imaginary. So we can just explaining by writing this. This is a complex number. The real part is equal 9. The imaginary part is 5i. So we will state this sentence for every question. Now, negative 7i. We know that that should be written in form a plus bi. If the question has a alone or bi alone, okay, so if the question has a alone, so that's mean bi is equal what? Is equal 0, so I don't have. If bi is given and a is not given, so a is equal 0. So starting from now, if a not given, so a is equal 0. If bi is not given, so bi is equal 0. So now if you look to this question, what's the given? The given is bi, so negative bi. So now we can say no real part because a is not given. And the imaginary, imaginary, imaginary part is negative 7i. So this is how we can identify the question. Then let's start solve this question. Find the summation of binomial 3 plus 2x and 4 minus x. Explain how you can use the result to find the summation of complex numbers. We know that the summation of complex number, it's similar to what we did in the first example in the warm-up, which means we add the like term. So as you can see here, we have a 3 and we have 4. So 3 plus 4. Then I have 2i, negative 5 is a like term, so plus 2i minus 5i. So let's add them together. Now the finals are 3, 4 is equal 7, plus 2i minus 5i is equal negative 3i. So this is the answer. Now let's do the second one. Find the product of binomials of this bracket multiplied with this one. Explain how you can use the result to find the product of a complex number 1 minus. So the same thing we did in the warm-up. Here, let's do for them. 1 minus 3i times 2 plus I. We do distributive property. So distributive property 1 times 2, which is equal to 1 times I, which is equal 1i. So let me write 1i. Then we have 3 negative 3i times 2 negative 6i. Negative 3i times I, which is equal negative 3i squared. Now we know that is I squared is equal what? Is equal negative 1 from the rule that we learned. So now let's replace the I squared with negative 1 and add the like term. So let's add the like term. So it will be 2 minus 5i. So 1i minus 6i, negative 5i minus 3i squared. I know that I squared is equal what? Negative 1. So now let's replace I squared with negative 1 times, okay, let's rewrite the question, times 3 minus I5 minus 2. Now, if you look to the question, negative 1 times negative 3 is equal positive 3. And you keep negative 5i and you keep 2. Now, can you add also the like term? Yes, I can add the like term. So I have 2 and I have positive 3. So now let me write it here. So it will be 2 plus 3, which is equal 5 minus 5i. So this is the final answer. Now, you can see here, identify the real part and the imaginary part. You know that this one is real part. This one is the imaginary part. The same thing for all of the questions. Now, let's go to the second explanation, how we can add, subtract the complex number. It's similar to what we did now before. Here, as you can see, add or subtract the complex number. Now, we add the like term. So here, as you can see, we have negative 7, we have positive 5, so we add them together. And here we have 2i with negative 11i. So we add them here. Then let's simplify them. So negative 5 plus 5 is negative 7. Plus 5 is equal to negative 2. 2i negative 11i is negative 9i. So that's the answer. Let's do this one here. Okay? Let's do this. Question number 8. 16 plus negative 8. So 16 plus negative 8, which is equal 8. Let's do it fast. Okay? Or let's do it first with the steps. 16 minus 8 together. Plus. And the other bracket should have 17i negative 12i. So 17i minus 12i. So this is what we are going to do. Now simplify the term. 16 minus 8 is equal a plus 17i minus 12i, which is equal 5i. So this is the answer. Let's do the same thing here. So first, we distribute the negative on 2 and on 3. So let's rewrite the question. 18 plus 27i minus times 2, which is equal, here I, minus 2, minus times positive 3i minus 3i. Now let's add the like term. So we have like term 18 and negative 2. So 18 and negative 2 together, plus, then we have 27i negative 3i together, 27i negative 3i together. Now add them. So 18 minus 2, which is equal 16, plus 27i minus 3y, which is equal 24i. Now let's do the same thing here. Let's distribute the negative for this number and this number. So now let's rewrite the equation. 17 minus 6i minus times positive 9, which is equal to negative 9, minus times positive 10 minus what positive negative 10i. Now let's add the like term. We have 17, we have negative 9, 17 minus 9 together. Plus, now, negative 6, negative 10i. So negative 6i, negative 10i. Let's add them together. Now let's find out the final answer. 17 minus 9, which is equal 6. Sorry, not 6. Sorry. 17 minus 9, which is equal 8. Then plus negative 6i, negative 10i, which is equal negative, not negative 16i. So this is the final answer. So I hope you understand the adding and subtracting complex number. Now try to solve this question by yourself. Here this question is adding, here's question is subtracting. Now let's go to the multiplying complex number, which is the last part of the lesson. You need to remember that I squared always equal what? Is equal negative 1. Multiply the complex number. Multiplying, same thing. We have to distribute 4 numbers, 6 times 3. Then 6 times negative 10. That's it. Then we have negative 5i times 3. Then negative 5i times negative 10i. So now we add the like term. So in 60i, 15i, which is equal 17i. We know that I squared from the formula is equal what? Negative 1. So we rewrite it as negative 1. So now 50 plus negative 1 is equal negative 50. And we keep 17i and we write 18. So now we add the like term. This one, negative 50 and 18 together. So both of them, they will give you negative 32. Then we keep the negative 75i. Clear? Now let's do this. 4 times 7, which is equal to 24. 4 times negative 2i, negative 8i. Then let's do the second one. 9 times 9i times 6, which is equal 54i. 9i times negative 2, 9, negative 18i squared. Negative I times, positive 9i times negative 2i, negative 18i squared. Now let's add the like term. So we have negative 8i, positive 54i. Now let's rewrite the question. 24, positive 48 with negative 8 is negative 46. Positive 46i. Then minus 18I squared. We know that I squared is equal what? Is equal -1. So I will replace I squared with what? With -1. Now, so I have to replace this one with -1. So it will be -1 multiplied with 18 negative I 46 plus 24. Now let's multiply the numbers together. So as you can see here, we have -1 with -18, which is equal +18, 46I plus 24. Now let's add the like term. So the like term is 24 and 18. 24 plus 18, which is equal 20, 20 plus 10 is equal 30. 30 plus 12, 42 plus 46I. So this is the final answer. I hope you understand this lesson. This is easy lessons, just multiplying the numbers. Here there is also another question. If you need to multiply them, I will just do it fast. So -3 times 7, -21. -3 times 4i, which is equal -12i. Then 12i times 7 is 7 times 2, 14. So 84i. Then -12 times, it's not negative, +12i times +4i, which is equal 48i squared. So now I know this part is equal what? Is equal -1. So now let's do it fast. So we have -21, and let's add the like term. So now +84, -12, which is equal 72i, and here 48 times -1, which is equal negative, okay, -48. So this one should be -48. Now let's add the like term again. -21, -48, which is equal -69 plus 72i. So this is the final answer. Now here are some questions. Try to solve them by yourself. If you have any question, please contact me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.